And all that time I covered Lori Lightfoot, mayor of Chicago. Boy, I thought she was just, Mayor Karen Bass of Los Angeles. She sets the bar for lack of leadership skills at a new high level. After you watch this video, there's a handful of comments that are made throughout this interview that I kind of really dials in just how Karen Bass is. Let's get into it. Here we go. Los Angeles Mayor Bass dodges question on whether all illegal immigrants in the city should be allowed to stay. Bass criticized Trump National Guard reign of terror. Reign of terror. Or was it law enforcement doing what they're supposed to do? Reign of terror? You got 1 million people in the city of Los Angeles that are illegal. And ICE coming in and taking some of those criminal illegals out is the reign of terror. Well, I mean, I guess you've got reign of terror just like you've got kings. I mean, we had a no kings protest and we had no Nazis protest. And then we were protesting Teslas. Oh, and then we were protesting no secret police. That was all kind of the package of no kings. I mean, it's idiocy is what it is. You're an idiot if you think that there's a reign of terror. You got ICE doing their job. The last 4 years, they weren't allowed to do their job because Biden said, let's bring everybody in. We'll load up the districts with our voters, and then they're going to vote Democrat after that. So, you got the census stuff going on. You've got politics going on. And meanwhile, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass repeatedly dodged answering directly on whether all illegal immigrants in the sanctuary city should be allowed to stay. In an interview with ABC's This Week, in fact, let's just jump down to the interview.
Los Angeles is a city of immigrants, 3.8 million people, and about 50% of our population is Latino. And so when the raid started, fear spread like a virus around the entire county.
Is there anything good you think the administration has done in these 6 months at the border?
Well, I will heap praise on the administration for the first 6 months in Los Angeles with the fires. If you ask me, is there anything that they have done good in terms of immigration? I don't know. I don't think so. I think that the viewpoint
95% reduction in illegal encounters at the southern border. 95% reduction. I mean, it's almost been stopped in its tracks. Just boom, done. And we didn't need a bunch of mamby-pamby legislation. If we just had the cooperation of the Republicans, we'd get this No, because that would have normalized even greater rates of illegals coming into the country. So Trump just basically, through executive order after executive order, like Biden did to unwind the southern border, Trump has clamped down. And he's done a tremendous job of, enforcing the law. Weird. Who knew? Shenanigans at the border. No more. But Karen Bass, was there anything good that Trump's done at the border? No, because they want to have millions and millions and millions of illegals flood into the country. Get those congressional districts all lined up. Get those voters lined up. Hey, we let you into the country. Now you need to vote for you-know-who. Now those plans are evaporating. I shouldn't say evaporating, but they're going in a little different direction with Trump in charge, right? With Tom Homan.
Has been punitive, has been let's make it as miserable as possible so that these people don't come.
Let's make it as miserable as possible so these people don't come. Isn't that the whole point of border policy? Hey, not everybody can come in. You've got to have a border policy. You got to have one. Rest of the world, every country except, some they're just absolute train wrecks, have border policy. Even the train wreck ones, they've got, we've got soldiers who might be 14 years old, but they got a Russian AK. Nah, you can't come through here. Even those countries have that type of setup. And Karen Bass is saying that what ICE is doing is punitive. You mean in enforcing border security? You mean enforcing border law? And then when the criminal illegals get tossed, you're upset because you've allowed literally millions of criminal illegals into the country and into your community specifically. Because if you build it, they will come. Just same reason you got a whole bunch of homeless people, because you built the homeless industrial complex. You give them whatever they want. Same thing with the homeless. Same thing with the illegal immigrants. You build it, they'll come. Watch this.
And whatever they're doing is certainly working at the border itself. We were down on that border, and it is dramatically different than it was a year ago. But
all right, Martha.
So they won't come out and say what is dramatically different. But when ABC, when the home of George Stephanopoulos, what was that, a $16 million lawsuit that Trump won? When that is your baseline, when ABC comes out and basically states, things are wildly different at the border now because of Trump's policy. And this is, ending that interview with Karen Bass where she said, I don't think there was really anything good that came of that. That kind of shows you, where Karen Bass is coming from. Criminal illegals are okay. Criminal illegals committing crimes in the U.S., that's okay. People just coming in willy-nilly 10 ways from Sunday, that's okay. Well, it's really not. I mean, even Obama knew it wasn't. So wild stuff, right? Let's go through a bunch of these tweets. The viewpoint has been, let's make it as miserable as possible so that these people don't come. That's a quote from her, right? And the answer is, yeah, that's the point. That's the point. You want police to make it miserable for people to commit crimes. You just do. You don't want to make it easy for them, right? All right, come into the country. It's all good. We'll all just have some McDonald's hamburgers and it'll all be great. No, you don't want that. Hey, here's a cash card for you. Go ahead and spend it on wherever you want. It's all good. Literally, you've got Karen Bass handing out debit cards, prepaid cards, to families of criminal illegals that have recently had a family member deported. Because they need money to function. Okay. Yeah, but they're committing crimes and they're here illegally and they've probably got a deportation order. So what about that? What are we doing there? Yeah, right. Then even Raddatz, the interviewer, the blonde interviewer, had to issue a correction. It wasn't even a correction. It was more a statement of fact. It's on national TV. It's wildly different at the border. Because who knew that if you actually enforce law, criminal encounters will go down? Weird how that works out. Whatever they're doing is certainly working at the border. No kidding. That was the entire point, right? That was the entire point. What Trump has done with the southern border is undeniably incredible. It is. It is. And the reason I have a pretty major stake in this, at least emotionally, is because my son died of a probable fentanyl overdose, and that fentanyl came across the southern border. Mom made its way up the I-5 corridor, probably went through Portland, came into Seattle, and killed my son, 27. So when I see people like this come right out and say, I don't think Trump's done anything positive. His actions have been punitive. What you're telling me is punitive, to me, is saving lives. Just is. You got to put the kibosh on this nonsense at the border. Posters say Bass is upset because, like the majority of the Democratic Party, she wants illegal aliens streaming over the border into the U.S. Because of this accessory to arson wants to open borders, she's a whack pawn job of the extreme left. They've created disincentives for illegal immigration. No shit, Karen. That's kind of the point. No one's ever claimed Bass is smarter on top of things. As we've discussed many times on Twitchy, Democrats need illegal aliens to inflate census numbers to hold congressional seats and electoral college votes. They hope amnesty will give them millions of new voters, too. Here's where I believe that is not going to be the case. These folks, once they get into the U.S., once they get established, once they are able to vote legally, become U.S. citizens and vote, they're going to want to hold on to their piece of the pie. And they're going to basically say, we don't want any of these newcomers coming in because now they're part of the old guard, right? They've got their piece of the American dream, citizenship. And they come from countries that are fairly conservative. Religiously, most of them are Catholic. They're not out aborting babies. They're having babies. They're forming families. They go to church. They believe in, higher power. They believe in God. They believe in Jesus. And even though Democrats got them in, basically sponsored them, I don't think you're going to have millions of new voters. And I think your indication of that was how the Hispanic vote went for Trump this last go around. I mean, it just did. Because those who can vote, they're like, yeah, all these new people coming in, they're going to take resources away from us. Screw those people. We did it the legal way. They're not. Yeah. Every illegal we prevent from entering the country is one less Democratic voter. There's a reason why they're panicking about the border being closed. It's very damaging to their future voter base. Yeah, some of these comments are they're wild, right? I'm shocked Martha admitted that about the border, the reporter from ABC. I was too. And that's why I showed that. And that's part of the reason why I'm doing this podcast, because it's like, there's no way you can sidestep that fact. You just can't. You can't. And yet you've got knuckleheads like Karen Bass just saying, I don't know if he's done anything good. Even the propagandists can't cover that up. It's quite remarkable what they've accomplished at the border in just 6 months. We just needed a new president. Yeah. One that didn't stop building the wall. One that didn't abuse parole into the country. One that didn't abuse 94 executive actions to weaken security at the border. I mean, just some super basic stuff. In fact, did the opposite and secured the border without legislation. Democrats have a hard time hiding that Trump has accomplished at the border, plus focusing attention on it only highlights what a colossal failure the Democrat Party was at securing it. I mean, it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. We voted for mass deportations, not mass amnesty. I mean, just some absolute wild stuff, right? So when Raddatz, the interviewer, said, what should happen to those people? Let me just say that because we're a city of immigrants, who built entire sectors of our economy, they're independent on immigrant labor, yada, yada. And it's not just the deportations, it's the fear that sets in when raids occur, when people are snatched off the street. Well, citizens aren't. Criminal illegals are. Big difference there. And I know you're aware that even people who are here legally, even people who are U.S. citizens, have been detained. Have they been deported? There's some questions about, even legals. I know that's hard to imagine. So the interviewer, Raddatz, pressed and said, so they should not be deported? Bass responded, I don't think so. I think they should stay. 1 million people in Los Angeles alone should just stay. Just let. Who else does that? Who else says that? Who else responds that way? Just an idiot. ABC host interjected, noting that the mayor was discussing 1 million undocumented people. No, let me just tell you what I think we need is comprehensive immigration reform. I served in Congress for 12 years, Bass said. What do you think when you hear that statement? We need comprehensive immigration reform. We need that, even though she was in Congress for 12 years. We used to call that mentally retarded. We can't say that anymore. Can't say the R word anymore. Now you have to say it's mentally handicapped, right? I mean, she's mentally handicapped. She just states the obvious and supports her own case. I served in Congress for 12 years. Raddatz again interrupted the mayor, noting that Bass, as a congresswoman, did not ensure the passage of such immigration reform. Hey, while you were in office, you didn't do jack. You did the opposite. And why didn't we get it? I mean, after I left, there was an immigration reform bill that had bipartisan support. Yeah, kind of. And it was terrible and would have allowed higher numbers of illegals to come in. So that was during the campaign. The president decided he didn't want to have it happen because he didn't want immigration reform to happen where he didn't take credit for it. Well, no, it's because it was a terrible deal. Terrible, terrible legislation. Made no sense. And come to find out, hey, we didn't even really need that, did we? Noting the surge in border crossings under former President Joe Biden, Raddatz, the interviewer, recalled asking a Border Patrol agent whether he felt badly for illegal immigrants. His response, Raddatz said, was yes, but they're cutting in line in front of those people who want to do it legally in the right way. So, Karen Bass gives zero you-know-whats about all those people that are in line. And she just basically says, oh yeah, cut away. It's all good. It's all good. Because she's been given the top down that, hey, we need these people to bolster our cause. Let me just tell you that the people that they make that trek, many of whom walk from Central America and even South America up to our border, risk their lives. We know. And the women, sexually assaulted left, right, and center. Darien Gap. We're not hearing about that anymore, are we? Because it's not really happening. I don't believe that all those people are sitting at home dreaming of coming to Los Angeles, Bass said in response. They're coming here out of desperation. But it's got to be done in a legal manner. This just taking 1 million people into your city and going, it should work out, is going to have the exact opposite impact, isn't it? Yeah. It's going to be like, okay. And number one, you got a massive budget deficit. You're literally firing city employees. You don't have the money. California, the Medi-Cal is no longer being offered to the criminal illegals. They're not doing that. You know why? Because they ran out of money. Oh, this is expensive. We can't continue doing this. Raddatz noted that hundreds of thousands of people illegally crossed the border under the Biden administration. Customs and Border Protection figures, however, recorded about 10.8 million border encounters and roughly 2 million more known gotaways during Biden's term. Yeah, and the actual numbers, 15 million, 20 million, something like that, probably. Trump, meanwhile, has reported record low border crossings since he began his second term. When asked if there's anything good she thinks the Trump administration has done in these 6 months, talks about the wildfire. But as far as terms of immigration, I don't know. I don't think so. 95% reduction in illegal crossings, and you don't think so? That, my friends, is just stupidity. That is stupidity handed up on a silver plate. That is the R word capitalized with an R. I don't think that the viewpoint has been punitive, so let's make it as miserable as possible so that these people don't come. That's correct. Yeah, I would have just said, yes. That's where we're heading with this. That's where we're going. That's where border security has always been. It hasn't been to make a nice environment so people feel comfortable just roaming on into the good old US of A, because believe it or not, that's not how things work. And I don't have a problem with immigration. I really don't. All of my grandparents immigrated from somewhere to somewhere, right? My mom's from Australia. She's not a US citizen. Resident alien, has been for 56 years. And so immigration, yeah, her parents immigrated. My paternal grandparents immigrated. Everybody's an immigrant. But they did it the right way. My mom had to wait forever to get her green card, right? Just forever. Folks I know that are handling immigration correctly, some of them have waited like 10 years. They're in that everlasting queue. Something will go sideways and they'll have to kind of hit the reset button. All right, back of the line you go. Unless you wander in from Ecuador and you come up through the southern border, and then all of a sudden, you get the little CBP One app and you get a court hearing and then you're in. Makes no sense, does it? Just straight up shenanigans. I have put in a request and I hope to. I will always be open to a conversation, the mayor said. I want to work with the administration to solve this problem. We have the World Cup in 11 short months here. We have the Olympics and Paralympics coming in 3 short years. I know that these games are very important to the president. I'm looking forward to working with them, and we have an extreme difference on this issue. But there's many issues for us to work on, and I will continue trying to outreach to the administration and hope that at some point they'll be responsive. So, what I would say there is that is nonsense. Because when ICE was doing a run through MacArthur Park in Los Angeles, instead of going to the 6-month anniversary of the Pacific Palisades kind of fire memorial, you ran over to MacArthur Park because ICE was there doing a drill. They were doing a sweep of MacArthur Park, and you were worked up. You were upset that, ICE is going to deport some criminal illegals. That's terrible. This is awful for the city. That's where Karen Bass sits. So not only is she just basically unaware of how reality works, she goes down this roadway that is just completely backwards and is completely illogical to the point where ABC at the end of that video does you can't really avoid the fact that the southern border is wildly different now than it was just a little bit ago. And they don't even give Karen Bass the ability to retort to that, to come back to that. And why? What's she going to say? She's already said a bunch of stuff that just makes her look stupid. And so now you've got statement after statement that just made her look really unintelligent, right? And then the interviewer, the reporter from ABC finishes it off with, it's really different down there now. And you're left with, because now you got a president who, I don't know, enforces the law. Weird. It's really weird how that goes. How did we get here? How did we have a president that was sold to us? The people who voted for him. I certainly didn't. How do we get a dude in office who told us he was going to be a moderate and then just day one, just wide open on that border? That's where you go. Wild stuff. Karen Bass, how much longer does she have in office? Is that a 2026 election? Man, I thought Lori Lightfoot was probably going to be, one of those politicians where you're like, wow, she's not making some good decisions here. But Karen Bass and podcaster Newsom, podcasts for days, weeks, months, decades, and even beyond. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks again for being here. We'll catch up soon. Bye for now.